In this video, we're going to talk about 10 tips to save $10,000 fast. Whether you're saving your first $10,000 or your 100th $10,000, this video is guaranteed to help supercharge your savings. Stay tuned until the end because I've saved a bonus hack that will make reaching your goal so much easier. Let's jump in. The first tip is to think about why you want to save money. Do you want to save for a house? Do you want to leave your job? Maybe you just want to alleviate financial stress and avoid living paycheck to paycheck. Thinking about why you want to do this will help keep you motivated to continue saving because let's be honest, saving money isn't always fun. Once you have a good reason in mind, write it down and post it somewhere, maybe on a mirror or a door, or you could even post it in the comments. You could also set a recurring reminder on your phone that periodically reminds you why you're saving money. The next tip is to budget. A budget makes saving so much easier. With a budget, you're able to easily identify spending that you can cut back on, and you're able to accurately plan how much you can save. Budgeting is pretty simple. I'd recommend using either a budgeting app like EveryDollar or a spreadsheet. First, write down all your sources of income. Then, identify all your expenses. For variable expenses like utility bills, you can take the average of the last 6 to 12 months to accurately figure out how much you need to budget. Next, set budgets for every category of spending in your budgeting app or spreadsheet, and then track your spending. Don't forget to include categories like insurance and entertainment. Every expense that you have should be accounted for in your budget. A lot of people just try to estimate categories in their head and then try to hit that amount, but that will inevitably lead to overspending.
Stop it.
Every penny that you spend should be tracked in your budget, and you should stick to the amounts set. Don't get in the habit of going over amounts that you budgeted. It may take a few months to properly calibrate your budget, so don't be afraid to change the budgeted amounts month to month for the first few months. One of my favorite budgeting tips is to create a category in your budget for fun spending money. Budgeting doesn't mean that you can't splurge on hobbies or coffee occasionally, but these expenses should be planned into your budget. Once you're budgeting accurately, you'll be able to calculate how long it'll take you to reach your $10,000 savings goal. For example, if you're able to save $200 per month, dividing your $10,000 goal by $200 per month, it'll take you 50 months or 4 years and 2 months. But maybe you want to save $10,000 quicker. This leads to the next tip, which is to set goals. A lot of you might have a deadline for your $10,000 savings goal. Maybe you want to buy a house in a year and you need to save $10,000 for your down payment. Dividing $10,000 by 12 months indicates that you'll need to save $833.33 per month, or $27.40 per day. If you don't have a specific goal or time frame in mind, it's still a good idea to set general goals for the next 5, 10, and 20 years. Do you just want to have some financial cushion, or do you want to be a multimillionaire when you retire? Identifying your longer-term goals will help you come up with short-term goals. At this point, you should have some goals in mind. At a minimum, you should have a target amount that you want to save per month, but you should also have some longer-term goals, such as buying that house or becoming a multimillionaire. Whatever your goals may be, you should write them down, since you're 42% more likely to achieve your goals if you write them down.
Wow.
For this reason, I'd encourage you to comment your goal down below. Now that you have your goals to work towards, you need to figure out where to put your money, which leads to the next tip, and that is to put your money somewhere safe.
Oh, money! I promise I'll never leave you alone again!
And by safe, I mostly mean safe from you spending the money. Storing your savings in your main checking account is a bad idea.
Man, was I using mine wrong?
Since it's way easier to spend and you probably look at your main checking account most often. Instead, it's a good idea to keep your savings in a separate account. If you want stability and think you might need access to your funds in the short term, I'd recommend a high yield savings account, which is simply a savings account that offers a little bit of interest on your money. Some interest is better than no interest, so this is a really good option. Don't be afraid to open up an account at a different financial institution than your primary checking account, since this makes your money harder to spend and allows you to shop around for the highest rate. If you decide to go this route, Google high yield savings account rates to get some recommendations and then select the bank that you trust. While it's smart to keep some cash in a savings account, you may benefit from investing some of your savings. The stock market fluctuates, so this is not a good idea for you if you're planning to use your savings soon. But if you have a more general long-term goal, like becoming a millionaire in 10 years, and you have a solid emergency fund built up, investing in the stock market could be a good place to park some of your savings. This strategy allows you to get higher returns over a long period of time and take advantage of compound interest. If you're interested in investing some of your savings and want to get some free stocks, see the links in the description. Now that you know how much you're going to save and where you're going to store your savings, the next tip is to set up automatic transfers from your main checking account to your savings account. Automating your savings will make it super easy to stay on track to reach your goal.
Yeah, boy.
Ideally, you should set up the automatic transfer as soon as possible after you get your paycheck. This is a concept called paying yourself first. By paying yourself first, you'll get accustomed to feeling like you have less money to spend since you don't see your full paycheck in your account. In a way, you're tricking yourself into thinking you have less money than you actually do. So naturally, you'll spend less money.
Got it!
Quick side note here, these next 4 tips are directly related to saving more money rather than making more money, because saving more is more efficient than earning. If you save $1, you have $1. If you earn $1, you then have to pay taxes on that dollar, so you only have around 70 cents left over. If you're enjoying the tips so far, be sure to drop a like on the video. It really helps the channel.
Okay.
For most households, the three biggest expenses are housing, transportation, and food. So the next tip is to cut back on housing expenses. If you're in an apartment, consider moving to a cheaper apartment or moving back in with your parents temporarily. Or if you have an extra room, consider getting a roommate. If you have a house and have extra space, you could get a roommate or consider renting out a room on Airbnb. Some people are even able to cover their entire mortgage simply by renting out rooms to roommates.
Free real estate.
You may also be able to decrease your internet and utility bills. These companies will automatically increase the cost of bills over time without notice, so you should periodically shop around for different internet and utility providers if you have multiple options in your area. The next tip is to decrease transportation-related costs. Cars are money pits. You have to pay for the cost of the vehicle, insurance, gas, and maintenance. According to the latest research from AAA, the average yearly cost to own and operate a new vehicle in 2022 was $10,728 or $849 per month. So if you have a new car and want to save money, consider selling it and buying a cheaper used car. Or better yet, if you're able to live without a car, consider selling the car and riding a bike or using public transportation. The next step is to save on food. The first and most obvious way to save is to minimize or cut out dining and food delivery, since these tend to be quite expensive. If you decide to go out to eat, avoid spending money on drinks since they have the highest markup, and water is usually healthier anyway. When you go grocery shopping, always make a list beforehand and stick to it. Without a list, you're more likely to buy food that you don't need. Also, try to go to the same grocery store consistently. If you're familiar with where everything is at, you'll be less likely to browse around, and browsing around leads to buying things that aren't on your grocery list. Also, when you go grocery shopping, you should never have an empty stomach. You should consider going to cheaper stores like Trader Joe's and Aldi, and also consider buying the cheaper store brands. Now the next tip is to save money on smaller purchases. One of my favorite ways to save money on smaller purchases is to decrease or eliminate recurring expenses, since this only requires action once, but it'll save you money each month. For example, if you're able to decrease your cell phone bill from $100 to $50 per month, you're saving $50 per month. Over the course of the year, this adds up to $600. You can also do this with streaming and subscription services, especially since they're often underused and unnecessary. It's often easy to let small purchases like coffee slip, but they really add up over time. For example, let's assume someone gets Starbucks a few times per week and they spend a total of $20 each week. By cutting out the Starbucks and making coffee at home, this person could save $20 per week. Multiply that by 52 weeks in a year and you get $1,040. If their goal was to save $10,000 in a year, this would be a whopping 10% of their savings goal. It's definitely worthwhile to consider which small expenses you're willing to cut out. Maybe for you it's not Starbucks. It could be clothes, dog toys, or Pokemon cards. Whatever it is, decreasing these types of expenses can save quite a bit of money.
Wow.
Now, there's only so much money that you can save before you're a minimalist living in a van, so this next tip is to make more money. The first way you can do this is by increasing your main source of income. Ask for a raise or move to a different company. Changing companies every few years is a good way to get consistent raises. Or if your job allows overtime and you have some time to spare, you could work a few extra hours. The next way to make more money is to start a side hustle. It could be a normal job or something that's more flexible like Uber or DoorDash, or you could do something you're passionate about. For example, if you're really into fitness, you could work as a personal trainer in the morning before work. Previously mentioned side hustles will make money immediately, but you're trading your time for money, which isn't very scalable. If you're interested in creating something that probably won't make you much money now, but has the potential to grow into something bigger, you could consider starting a YouTube channel, blog, or something similar. The next and probably easiest way to make money is to sell stuff that you don't use. If you glanced around your room right now, I'm guessing you'd see a few things that you'd be willing to sell. Maybe it's your old phone, that guitar you never play, or clothes that you never wear. Sell them on eBay, Facebook Marketplace, or Craigslist. You can also turn this into a side hustle by flipping things from garage sales and thrift stores, such as couches, tools, and clothes. Now it's time for the bonus hack that will almost guarantee that you reach your savings goal. The hack is to ask a trusted friend or family member to hold you accountable for your savings goal. Tell them your deadline and how much you intend to save, then report back to them often about progress you've made towards your goal. Having someone to hold you accountable could be the secret sauce that you need to achieve your goal. Now get to saving. None of these tips actually matter if you don't take action. Don't forget to comment your goals down below and be sure to like and subscribe for more videos.